Hi, I'm fine. I'm fine, Shantesh. Can you guys hear me and see me clearly now? I'm really very, very sorry about this fault. I don't know what's happening. Maybe some internet issue. Is everything fine? Hello, Renee. Thank you, Rutra. Uh, I don't have much information. Maybe next year in uh, maybe March, April, May. Okay, thank you so much. So maybe it was the issue with the Microsoft Whiteboard I was using for giving my presentation and all. So I will be moving on to the Microsoft OneNote. I guess that will be using less data and all. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. So I will be. Is everything visible and audible? Okay, okay, Aryan. Thank you so much. Let's talk about GA. So I was talking about GA, yes, and I was talking that yes, PIB is basically the Bible of any RBI Grade B aspirant, and you have to cover PIB in certain way that if you are reading a particular article, if you witness any kind of scheme, you just write down the name of that particular scheme, and you can read it afterwards. Read about that particular scheme afterwards. That you should know that this scheme was in news in this particular PIB article or in that particular month. After that, I was talking about the schemes that you should cover the schemes thoroughly. For example, you need a list to cover the scheme. So, for example, you are taking the list from Vision IAS, and whenever you are reading a scheme from, particularly from Vision IAS, you just write down the name of that particular scheme. After that, the move on to Google, move on to the internet, and search about that particular scheme and write down PIB. And whatever you find, whatever article, the latest article you find regarding that particular scheme of PIB, just write, just read all of those PIB articles and note down some of the important points which are in relevance to that particular scheme and which could be asked in the examination, especially for the mains examination. So that's how you can cover the schemes. And also, I told you to uh, check out the guidelines document. There is a guidelines document of every scheme, but some of the documents are of, let's say, 20 to 30 pages. Or some are of, let's say, 5 to 6 pages. But some guideline documents are about 100 to 120 pages. So there are some important things that you need to study from those guideline documents. That is the features of that particular scheme, the beneficiaries of that particular scheme, if any nodal agency is associated with it, and what are the functions of those nodal agencies in order to implement those schemes. Those are the important points which you should cover, and some of the basic points which are highlighted in the ministry website itself, or let's say the page of the scheme, which is itself in the ministry website, and also some of the information given in the PIP, that would suffice. But you need to understand that schemes are application based now, so you need to put yourself into the situation that how this scheme could be implemented for me if I was a beneficiary of that particular if I were a beneficiary of that particular scheme. So that kind of scenario should be in mind while you are covering a particular scheme. Okay. So next source is the Affairs Cloud document. Affairs Cloud document. Last year, I actually shifted to Thunderstorm. Thunderstorm is also very good, and there are some newspaper articles also given in the Thunderstorm. That is really very nice. But Affairs Cloud also has some of the detailed aspect of things. For example, there are some background information given in the Affairs Cloud articles, which is really very nice for the RBI Grade B examination because they are asking from the background itself also. And there are some of information which seem irrelevant, but RBI Grade B is asking now. So you have to understand that those kind of information could be asked also this time. And you have to make sure that whatever article you're reading from Affairs Cloud, you have to read it thoroughly. But remember, those articles should be in relevance to the syllabus. You don't need to study each and everything. For example, mergers and acquisition, nobody is asking that. Obituaries, nobody is asking that. So all those things which you need to omit out from the Affairs Cloud document, you need to omit out, and you need to make sure that everything which you are reading must be in consideration to the syllabus and previous year questions, because you don't need to waste your time in mugging up the trash GA, which is not basically going to be asked in the examination. And if they are asking those trash GA, those are very in depth, and that is not basically required. So you can skip those questions in the examination. The next thing is the RBI website. Very, very important. Nobody talks about it, but you need to understand that RBI website is the credible source of GA Phase 1. This year it was, because most of the questions were from RBI circulars, RBI notifications, RBI press releases, RBI annual report, RBI FSR report, RBI. There are so many things. So RBI website is really very, very important for you to cover. And in RBI website, you need to look for RBI notifications and RBI press releases. These are the two things which you need to cover very, very thoroughly, because RBI notifications are basically not only for their own functions, but also for the functioning of every body that they are governing. That if, let's say, e-rupee is to be implemented, I'm sorry, let's say digital central bank digital currency CBDC is needed to be implemented. So all the criteria that any bank should fulfill for basically launching this for wholesale or for retail, those kind of information the RBI is going to deliver through its notifications to various entities which it is governing to launch this particular currency. So everything which is needed, which is very important for the organizations which are governed by RBI, is basically launched through notifications. And for us, obviously, we need to know how the economy is working. Obviously, we need to know what are the things that Indian economy is introducing to make it more rigid, to make it more stable. We need to cover the RBI notifications in detail. And you need to understand that in this year's paper, there were so many questions that RBI has released this particular notification, to which entities this notification is valid for, which means that there are some entities which are excluded from that particular notification, and you needed to remember which entities were included and which entities were excluded. So that kind of questions could be asked in the prelims examinations, the phase 1 examination of RBI. So RBI notification is very important to remember, but only those notifications which are in relevance to the syllabus, not external things. For example, let's say it has cancelled the license of this particular bank or particular cooperative bank, or it has merged this. No, you don't need to remember the names of those banks, but you need to remember that according to which act this particular decision has been implemented over a certain NBFC or over a certain bank or over a certain non-bank or over the amalgamation or the cancellation of license. Each and everything is done in accordance with which act, or let's say which section of which act, because they are going in deeper into the phase 1 questions as well. So those kind of information, those kind of questions could be asked, and hence you need to cover every notification which you think is relevant for the examination very thoroughly. Then comes the RBI press releases. This is the short form of the notification. It's just an information that RBI has released this notification, or RBI has released, let's say, the statement of development and regulational policies with respect to the monetary policy recommendations, which are recently in news or which are recently launched. So every news, basically, it's kind of a press release, is kind of like a news article to you to get the gist of a particular report, and that particular whole report or particular whole detail is given in the RBI notification. So cover both of these very thoroughly, very important. I will come to the reports. Yes, I will come to the reports now. This is the RBI notification. There are some people who refer to the compilations of RBI notifications. EduTap has good compilations. Anuj Jindal has good compilations. Everybody says that. So you can refer to those compilations as well, but make sure that for longer notifications, make sure that you personally visit the website and you see that whether any important information is missed out or not. If it is missed and you think that this information is relevant for the examination, cover it on your own. You can make small notes on that particular PDF which you are referring to, either from EduTap or from Crack Grade-B or from Anuj Jindal, whatever kind of source you are referring to. So this is the thing I wanted to say about RBI notifications. Next thing is, original reports. Okay, let's talk about reports now, reports and indices. In preliminary examination, I've already talked about this in my previous video, that in indices, basically, they are asking about the first 5 countries. We were only concerned about the first three before, but now they are asking first five, and they are basically giving the statements in which they are mentioning any five countries, and they are asking which of the following is not among the first five countries in this particular index. And you had to answer that in accordance to the question. So these kind of in-depth analysis of each and everything, it's basically absurd, but it is what it is required to cover now. So in order to cover these, you have to cover every index which you are reading, whether from Affairs Cloud or from PIB. There are some indices which are given in PIB also, released by some Niti Aayog, or let's say Ministry of Statistics and Program MOSPI, basically. So you can see that those indices can be covered, uh, and up to five places. Okay. You can cover the indices up to first five places, and also try to remember the last five places also, just in case, because it's very unpredictable now. And this is for indices. Indices can be covered from Affairs Cloud also, because they are also giving so many details regarding a particular index. Don't go into the indices which are not related to the syllabus for detailed analysis. For example, there is a Henley's passport index. So you don't need to understand that how the index is ranked, how the what are the basic parameters of that particular index. Just learn the first five places or and the last five places and move on. But for other indices which are released by, let's say, United Nations Environment Program, or let's say UNDP, or let's say some other indices which are in reference to the syllabus of the examination, you can cover various things. For example, what are the parameters of that particular index or particular report that has been published. And India's performance in every parameter can be asked in the examination also. So you should also remember that India in this particular parameter scored 9 out of 15, and in second parameter it scored 8 out of 15. So that kind of information could be marked up, because RBI is asking in very detail about these things. I have to constantly check up whether it's working, right? It's working, right? You guys can hear me and see me, right? I'm so sorry, because the screen is different, so I'm not able to see whether it's working or not. So you guys can fill me on that. It's working. Thank you. I will answer every question of yours, but please make sure that you see the session first, and after that, I will answer every question of yours. Okay, so this is all about the GA portion. I talked about PIB, I talked about RBI notifications, I talked about schemes, I talked about reports and indices. These are basically the important parameters that you need to cover for your actual examination preparation for phase one also and for phase two also. And make sure whenever you are reading any kind of schemes, you are implementing those schemes on a case-based project. So every time whenever you are reading something, I saw an Instagram post of somebody that actually he made a very good point that any article which you are not able to read or which are not able to understand, you can understand it through ChatGPT. Very, very important thing. Just copy paste the PIB article into ChatGPT and you can write explain in easier language. So it will explain each and everything in an easier language. And you can also follow up with that, uh, frame 10 to 15 questions, 10 to 15 important questions from this passage or from this article with answers. So not only you will be able to understand the particular article in an easier language, you will also get some of the important MCQs regarding those articles which you are actually reading from ChatGPT, and you will also get the answers to those. So it will be an easier thing for you to make your own question bank and to revise your particular article from those question banks, because it will be easier to remember through MCQs than to read the whole article in itself. You can also do that, but remember that only do that after reading the article yourself. Don't rely on ChatGPT, because it will basically play with your comprehensive abilities, and you will not be able to understand the question which you will be reading in the actual examination, because there will be no ChatGPT there. So remember that. Okay, let's talk about. Uh, yes, I wanted to talk about something important. Let's talk about in ESI. Okay, so this was all about GA. Let's move on to the phase two. I hope I have covered majority of it, but if I haven't, I will take up all your questions and I will answer those queries in those questions. Let's talk about the phase two, which is ESI, finance, and management. ESI covers maximum current portion and a little bit of current plus static portion. Okay, in objective paper, 98% questions are from current. Basically, sometimes it's 100%. So you have to rely on your GA preparation very, very well for your ESI section. You have to cover reports according to the ESI also, whatever reports are given in the syllabus also. And remember, every report which is given in the syllabus, you have to cover those reports from original documents, whether it's RBI annual reports, whether it's report on trends and progress of banking in India, whether it's an FSR report, whether it's United Nations report, whether it's IMF World Economic Outlook report. Every report should be covered beforehand, because you know that these kind of reports are being asked from the descriptive point of view as well. So in order to make sure that you are covering every aspect of these things, you need to understand that every report should be covered. Whatever reports, especially those reports which are mentioned in the syllabus, you need to cover those reports from scratch, from the original document, however long the document is, because every detail that you need to understand from the report could be helpful whenever you are framing the descriptive answers. So make sure that everything which you are writing or which you are reading is in reference to that particular report. Because in ESI also, there was a question regarding, there was a report from UN Women. Since gender issues is basically in the syllabus, you the report regarding the UN women was also in the syllabus, and the descriptive answer should have been answered in reference to that particular report. So these reports especially, which are syllabus related and especially mentioned in the syllabus, should be covered with reference to the descriptive point of view as well. Because up until this point, I'm sure that most of aspirants, even myself, was covering the reports from the descriptive, from the objective point of view, from the ESI objective point of view. But now you have to make sure that those reports are covered from the descriptive point of view as well. Reports on currency and finance, RCF report from the RBI. This report was directly asked in the actual examination in the descriptive portion. Whether many questions could be framed in the objective in this from this particular report, it was asked in the descriptive. So to make sure that uh, this everything every report is covered thoroughly, you need to understand that these reports must be covered from the original documents itself, and you can revise it from any summary which is available in any coaching institute. But first, because the time is more, first you need to understand every report from the original document. This is what I wanted to say. And for ESI static, because in descriptive questions ESI static could be asked. For me, basically, I scored about 37 or 38 marks out of 50. No, I'm sorry, I scored about 33.75 marks out of 50 in the ESI descriptive portion. So for static, I did nothing very different. I actually studied NCRTs, 11th standard and 12th standard macroeconomics. I studied this, and I also supplemented this NCRT with Indian Economy by Sanjeev Verma. It's a very small book, but it's a very beautiful book because everything with reference to the current scenario is explained in this book very, very well. And you can put those examples or those scenarios in your actual descriptive answer. It really helped me when I took the mains in 2022 and I scored really well. So these are the sources, but you can also refer to, I had the access to the Grade-B and EduTap courses before, and I have seen their material also. Their material is also very good. So you can refer to those material for your own preparation as well. I have no idea about the other coaching materials, but I had the opportunity to have the access of both these coaching materials, and I can tell you that both these materials are good. So you can cover ESI from any of those materials as well. But since the time is more for us to prepare for, we can cover it thoroughly on your own by NCRTs and Sanjeev Verma, because it's very good books. These are very good books, and you can cover everything from them. Let's talk about the finance. Finance is also current based, and you know that finance and management is a combined paper in objective and descriptive. So in objective, mostly whatever finance is asking, it's asking everything which is in current scenario. mostly from RBI notifications, RBI circulars, RBI annual report, or any kind of report which is in relevance to the finance section. So you have to emphasize more on the current based questions or current based problems for your objective paper. For your descriptive paper, in finance, basically, you need to understand um some of the static aspects also. So for static aspects, you can either refer to any of the coaching materials, be it EduTap or Grade-B. Both are equally good. But what I recommend, because some people cannot afford the courses, you can check out the book from Indian Financial System by Bharti V. Pathak. It's a very lengthy book, but since the time is more for us to prepare, you can refer to the important things, and also you can refer to only those things which are given in the syllabus. You don't need to dive deeper into every aspect because the syllabus itself mentions general finance. You need to have a basic understanding of financial aspects and implementation of those basic understandings into the current affairs, which is basically asked in finance section. And it is also asking the finance direct reports in the finance section as well, or direct RBI circular. For example, in 2021, it directly asked, in 2022, it directly asked write short notes on TLTRO, targeted long-term repo operations. So this is a current affair kind of, but that current affair is related to the monetary policy tool, for which you needed to understand the concept of monetary policy. So that is basically interlinked. So you need to understand that if you want to prepare well for this exam, you need to intertwine every aspect, the static aspect and the current aspect, for having a full understanding of every topic that you are reading. Okay. Let's come to the management section. I've made a mess here. I'm really very sorry. Let's come to the management section. For management, basically, you can refer, for all of you guys who have the access to the courses. EduTap course is really very good for the management section, and Crack-Grade-B course is also very good because they have also made the notes which are very friendly for the descriptive point of view, descriptive answers. So you can refer to any of the materials of these two, any of these two, because they are equally good. But for management, if you don't have the access, you can read the book of L.M. Prasad. There are two books of L.M. Prasad. First is the Organizational Behavior, and second is the Principles of Management. So there are some topics given in Principles of Management, some topics are given in Organizational Behavior. So you can refer to these two books, and you can selectively cover each and every aspect from these two books. And especially for the ethics portion, because ethics is not given in L.M. Prasad, there is a book of B.N. Ghosh. You can refer to this particular book for business ethics. So management is really very easy subject. Even if you have not read management ever in your life, you will be able to constantly, if you are sitting, if you are covering management in a constant setting, you will be able to cover management in about 10 to 15 days. It is that easy. And this time, the paper of finance and management was really easy, especially the management. There were direct questions uh, in both, in the descriptive also and in the subjective also, sorry, objective paper also. So you need to understand that management and finance, this is a very scoring paper. So please make sure that whatever you are reading from finance and management, it should be on your fingertips, because every aspect can be answered. You can score 40 plus or even 45 plus in finance and management objective paper, and about 40 plus in the descriptive paper. So you can score really very well in the FM paper. In ESI, obviously there are uncertainties, because under the sun, under GA could ask anything. So there is uncertainty. But in finance management, it is sure that because of the management and because of the higher syllabus, the syllabus of management is more. And sometimes the percentage of questions which are asked from the management are more. So because of that, you have a high probability of scoring good in finance and management. So make sure that whatever you are reading, you're reading perfectly for this. Last section is the English section. I took so much time of you guys. I'm really very sorry because of that particular glitch that happened. So let's talk about the English descriptive. English descriptive portion. English descriptive portion, they are all about the grammatical aspects. Uh, there should not be any punctuation error. There should not be any grammatical error. The word limit should not be exceeded. Neither it should be exceeded nor it should be uh, less than the given word limit. It should be approximately plus minus 5, I would say. I cannot go beyond that. Let's say if the essay comes of 600 words, you need to write 600 plus minus 5. I don't recommend go to 10 or let's say 15. No, you need to go to 600 plus minus 5. The nearer it is to the word limit, the better it is. Also, the grammatical errors are very easy to catch in English descriptive, so make sure you are using Grammarly wherever you are practicing any type of English descriptive question, whether it's comprehension passage, whether it's Prezi, or whether it's your essay. And also make full complete use of ChatGPT in English descriptive. Complete use. Take a passage, take a passage from newspaper or from any material, and write a précis out of it on your own, and then copy paste that particular passage and tell ChatGPT to write a précis, and then copy paste your précis and tell ChatGPT to rate your précis or to mark your précis. So you can basically check your own performance with reference to the AI's performance, and you will be able to understand what kind of improvements that you need to do in your particular essay that you have written. Same is the case for comprehension passage also, same is the case for essay also. You can use complete help of ChatGPT, but remember that English descriptive is not only about grammatical aspect, it's also about the quality. Don't fill up everything with facts because it's not an answer writing. Don't write anything in points because it's not answer writing. It's an essay. An essay should be an essay. It should not be an answer. Remember that. So each and every aspect is there. Okay. So I have covered each and everything here. You need to understand that this is the main thing which is basically dissociating from selected and non-selected aspirants is the need to study or to go in depth more because RBI is asking more. And phase one, you don't need to do any PhD in quant or reasoning or English or even GA. Phase one is only qualifying in nature. You need to understand that you have to be strategic while preparing for phase one. You only need to qualify it. You don't need to just go beyond the cutoff way, way higher. So that particular scenario must be in your mind. A lot of time is there. You need to just make sure that whatever you are reading it properly, and you are actually correlating every aspect with the current scenarios which are going on, whether it's static with respect to current or whether the newspaper article with the current scenario or whatever the scenario which is around you. You should be able to correlate everything because that will not only help you in mains, but also it will help you in the interview phase also. So it is very essential. So that is all I needed to talk about. I will take only 10 to 15 minutes now for your queries. Let me come back here. You guys can see me, right? Is everything fine? You guys can see me, right? You guys can see me and hear me? Can you please confirm it? Okay, thanks, Mayur. Okay, I will be taking some of the questions of you guys now. ओके 2023 का एग्जाम दिया था उसका रिजल्ट आया फेज 2 का स्वप्निल आई एक्चुअली डिड नॉट get into the phase 2 examination. I was eliminated in phase 1. I'm fine in Meshnate. You have to tell me the meaning of that. I'm really fine, thank you so much. Some channels do cover those notifications. Shall we rely on that? Yes, you can if you are not able to understand those notifications. But you also need to understand that you have to cover those notifications on your own as well because some of the points could not be covered on those in those videos. But if they are covering, definitely you can rely on those videos as well. So, did you join any coaching? I actually took a course last year of Grade-B and EduTap, and yes. After that, I have decided to stick to the basics now because that is really very important because RBI or IBPS, we can say, it is basically differentiating between the coaching students and the non-coaching students, and the line is similar now. because I can say that the person who is preparing on it on his own might actually get benefited because the horizon is not constricted. He is preparing well way beyond the expected. So yes, that's what I'm doing now. Share some of your notes for reference purposes. John, I'm really sorry, I don't make notes. I actually highlighted the PDFs before. Now, since the new scenario is coming, so I'm highlighting some of the new PDFs. Because of copyright reasons, I might not be able to share those on channel, but I will share some of the highlights of those PDFs. So that would be good enough. मेंस की प्रेपरेशन कैसे करें? Again, means for means, you just start preparing syllabus wise. Also, you might have heard the channel We Learn Here from Atul sir. That channel is wonderful. You should definitely join that channel over Telegram. If you are not able to find it, I will put the link in the description also. He will be giving some of the targets. He also gives some of the targets, and he also gives some of the questions according to those chapters, descriptive questions, which you can practice, which you can make notes out of on your own. It's a very important thing for you to cover, and that channel can be also followed. They also post some of the important PIB articles also, and some of the important business standard articles also. So you can refer to those at that particular channel as well. I don't make notes, Sandesh. I just underline the important things over Affairs Cloud and daily PIB. I actually see the PIB links, then I download those PIB links, and I merge that daily PIB PDF into one, and I just start highlighting the important things and write down some of the important things which is not there, and which gives a little bit of background which is not there, which is important for the examination. I just write that down. Okay, guys. There are so many questions. Quant strategy, Sachin, I explained everything since the link was broken. There was the video will be here over this particular channel, so don't worry. You will find it in the first video that I took. I have explained everything regarding quant in that. Shall we write descriptive in Google Docs with Grammarly add-ons, sir? Definitely, you can. Yes, yes, you can. You can write. But remember to turn off the spelling mistake indicator, because whenever you will be seeing that particular misspelling or whatever spelling mistake you are doing, you will have to erase at that point of time. But in the actual examination, there will be no spell check. So you have to basically turn off the spell check function in that. Crack Grade-B current affairs, it is good as you had. I actually had the access. I don't have right now, but current affairs I relied on my own preparation, and since I was uh, uh, going throughout each and every aspect. For example, at PIB I was doing on my own. I was doing from Thunderstorm. I actually did not look much into the GA aspect of Crack Grade-B, but it is really good. I've heard a lot of good things about GA and of ESI finance, ESI and finance, and also phase one of Crack Grade-B. You can definitely check it out. Yes, but I would also now recommend that try to cover GA on your own rather than moving into these compilations, because compilations are basically constricting your horizon. You need to think way beyond, because RBI is asking very in-depth analysis questions now. Uh, Thank you so much, Tushar. Well, I'm not an excellent teacher. I'm not a very good teacher. I'm not even a decent one. So I have never thought of that particular field, but thank you so much. And yes, this session will be available in my channel. IBPS and SBI exams are near. Suggest how to prepare for GA for means of those examinations. Affairs Cloud would suffice. Affairs Cloud will be enough. You can cover 4 months before the mains examination, and that you can do. Hi, Sai Krishna. Sir, how you attempted reasoning, tell in brief. You see, I've already talked about this in my previous videos as well. I'm very comfortable with critical reasoning. For critical reasoning, I have seen some of the videos from Rodha. I've also shared critical reasoning sources over Telegram also, and my previous videos as well. So I'm good at critical reasoning, so I relied on that plus the miscellaneous problems. For example, coded inequality, coded let's say silogs. This time in my shift were lengthier because they were reverse silogs and they were in statements, and you needed to check each and every statement, and after that you need to answer whether 1 and 2 are satisfied, 2 or 3 and 4 are satisfied. So that was a lengthy scenario, but yes, I was able to do it. For reasoning, I'm telling you, if your critical reasoning is stronger, if you practice more questions of critical reasoning, then you don't have to even bother about the way big puzzles that are asked in the examination. Because puzzles are a very tricky business. You are not certain whenever any kind of puzzle would be striking. And even if you're trying to attempt that kind of puzzle, you will be totally perplexed. That is why mocks are very important. Through mocks, you will be able to understand that what kind of questions you will be attempting in the examination and what kind of questions you will be not attempting or you will be leaving. Sir, give your rough plan for 2024 और GA अभी से पढ़ना चालू करें या बाद में? Kunal, I have explained everything. Start GA from September onwards because in September so many important reports come, so many international reports come. So you can start from September onwards, cover daily because covering daily will reduce the burden later on. Whenever you will be covering daily affairs cloud, daily PIB, daily newspapers also, I've talked about each and everything in my GA video, the previous video. So you can cover everything daily. You will be actually reducing your burden and your significant chances of multiple revisions would increase. So that is why cover daily and start from today onwards. Sir, can I use business line? Yes, you can use business line. In 2024, which month exam will conduct? This is very hard to say because the examination process or the selection process of this year is not completed, so we cannot say anything. Sir, so tell me about GA section of IBPS mains and SBI mains and how to score more. You see, these are comparatively very easy than RBI Grade-B, so you can refer to Affairs Cloud simply and you will be able to score a very decent score in GA, in SBI PO means and IBPS PO means. What is Thunderstorm? It's a guidely document. It's a very good document. They also give MCQs. They explain GA in MCQs, and along with that, they give the newspaper article of that particular GA. Sir, uh, will you apply for NABARD and RBI Assistant? I'm not eligible for RBI Assistant. Uh, I have applied for NABARD, but I will. Actually, I have not prepared for NABARD because I cannot. I actually don't like ARD. So let's see about that. If I feel like it, I would give the exam. But if I don't, then I would probably not. How to cover reports, PIB scheme in CA. I explained everything. In order to cover one, you need notes, right, to remember everything. How do we go about it? If you can elaborate on this. If you are comfortable in making notes, you can do that. But if you're not comfortable in making notes, take a digital pad. Let's say, for example, I was taking a session, right? I was using this pad. I try to highlight the important things of a particular PDF through this pad, and I try to write down the important things which are not given in that. Let's say I'm reading something else. Let's say I'm reading a background of a particular news. I just write it down, and I try to revise each and everything daily. For example, I have read today's Affairs Cloud. I have read today's PIB. I have read today's newspaper articles. Next day, uh, before reading the next day's articles, I will revise the previous ones, just the highlighted portions which I've highlighted today and which I've read today, and I will be highlighting the next one after that. So I am using that kind of technique if you're not comfortable making notes. But if you are, if you can, because time is way more and you can. So if you can make notes, you can definitely do so. You can make your Face Cloud notes separately, your PIB notes separately, your newspaper notes if you want to separately, and you can revise them day by day. You can make them day by day and revise them day by day. On average, how much time do you allocate for paper to prepare for GA? I start from September. In 2022, I started from September 2021. Now I also will start from September 2021. In my this attempt, in my 2023 attempt, I did not prepare from September. I started preparing from, I guess, January. From December, January, I started preparing. But yeah, September would be good enough. From September onwards, you can do that. So newspaper reading is necessary. Yes, it is necessary because direct questions were asked in the RBI Grade-B examination from newspapers. Some were saying that a direct line was asked from Economic Times. Some were saying it was directly asked from Business Standard. So yes, newspapers are important. Prachi, do I need to read macroeconomy 12th or for ESI? how can I cover its major portion? Prachi, there is a lot of time. You can cover every chapter which is in relevance to the syllabus from NCRT from 12th macroeconomics. Yes, you can cover the full complete chapter also, because the chapters are not that big in NCRT. So basic assets aspect can be covered. And you also need to stick to the basics, because in examination, most of the questions are from current questions. So yes. Thank you so much, Raj. Thank you so much. How can we communicate with you? You can join the Telegram channel, Hope RBI, and the Telegram chat box, Hope RBI chat box. I will put the link to both of them in the description below. RBI circular, and please suggest some of the teacher who explain. Okay, so Aaron, for RBI notification and circulars, there is a channel. EduTap also puts some of the important RBI notifications and finance news. And Anuj Jindal also has some of the important videos, so you can cover it from there itself. And um, for if you are not able to understand a particular RBI notification or circular, just copy that article and paste it to ChatGPT, and then ask ChatGPT to explain this article in easier language. It will explain everything in easier language, and also you can ask ChatGPT to make important MCQs for you according to that particular RBI notification or circular which you are reading. So that will also be helpful. So, guys, that's it. I've taken a lot more time of yours. I'm really very sorry for that, because I don't know what happened back there with these internet connectivity issues. I'm really very sorry, and I hope that we will be connecting soon enough. I'm pretty busy with various examinations that I have filled, and since I am at the verge of my last attempts everywhere, in every exam, I'm a bit busy on focusing into the exam preparation. So I hope that I answered most of your queries through this session. Share this session and the previous ones which got disconnected with every person who is preparing for the RBI Grade B examination. Is Anuj Jindal PIB PDF useful? I actually have not read Anuj Jindal PIB PDF. I'm sorry, Subhash Smita. I would not be able to answer this question. I'm really very sorry. So try to cover it on your own, PIB. Yes. So thank you so much for watching this session, guys. Please share it with many aspirants, and I hope that we will be connecting soon enough. And I will try to put up as many videos as I can. And I'm really sorry for the gap, the big gap that we had. So thank you.